into the back of the net. Medina! Go for the birthday boy! Goal!
From the UW-Milwaukee Panther Arena in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's the Major Arena Soccer League. Tonight, the Milwaukee Wave hosting the Kansas City Comets. And a pleasant good evening to everyone, wherever you may be. Tom Witt along with the Wave Hall of Famer, Art Kramer, as we join you for what we are really hoping is going to be another exciting season of Milwaukee Wave soccer here in the MASL. So, Art, here we are again. Lord willing, we made it through another offseason, and we're back here again. Wave opens up the season against really the team that's become their longtime arch rival now, the Kansas City Comets. A team that, well, they were one of the tough teams in the MASL the first 3 years, but last year took a step back, lost a bunch of players, but this year they've regained some of that core that they used to have, and they also regained former coach Kim Renfett. So looking like a team that's going to be a very competitive team this year.
Yeah, the Comets got off to a terrible start last year. They went 1-3 in their first 4. They finished with a record of 7-15, and this was on the heels of going 15-5 the previous season. And so for Kim Renfett and his crew, it's trying to get off to a good start here. And as you said, they've got 4 players that returned from that 2016-17 season. Elaine Mattingu in the back, Ramon and Robert Palmer in the midfield, along with Johnny Sosa, who should really help them on the power play and special team situation.
And I would think some upgraded goalkeeping in the person of Brett Petracek, former keeper with Cedar Rapids the last couple of years. So that certainly should help the Comets. All right, let's take a look at our team, the Milwaukee Wave. Coming off an outstanding season, 17-5, once again to the Final Four of the Ron Newman Cup playoffs. Pretty much the same cast of characters that we had from last year. I guess the one main exception, the main addition is a very familiar one, the person of LSO who won the Celtics over there.
Yeah, they also had an Alex Bradley. So we lose Daniel Matos, and we've gained LSO, as you said, and Alex Bradley. So for the Wave, I mean, it's a veteran-laden team, and really they're going to be the favorite in every game they play this season, bar none. And so for the Wave, it's come out, take care of business, try to put yourself in good position for a good seeding in the playoffs. Hopefully they get there, but get a good seeding in the playoffs and then get it done in the playoffs this season.
Alex Bradley coming over also from Cedar Rapids to Milwaukee, and he had an excellent rookie campaign with the Rampage. One of the keys I would think this year, Art, for not only tonight but for the season for the Milwaukee Wave, is goalkeeper Josh Lemos. Josh had another excellent season last year, but he got injured near the end of the regular season, and I don't think it was quite himself when he had to make one appearance in the postseason. Very capable backup in the person of Rafa Diaz as well, but Josh is really one of the key guys for the Wave.
Yeah, going into his 3rd season, Josh Lemos, one of the elite keepers in the Major Arena Soccer League, and as you said, his backup Rafa Diaz is a really formidable player as well.
So, should be a great game to get the season started here. Stay with us, fans. This is the Major Arena Soccer League on MASL.TV. And so we are just about set to go here from the UW-Milwaukee Panther Arena in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Once again, Tom Witt along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer with you from the top of the arena here in Milwaukee as the Wave and the Kansas City Comets get ready to open up the 2018-19 MASL regular season. Actually had 2 games last night in the league to kick off the regular season. And now the opener for these 2 teams tonight, along with several other clubs in the MASL. And from Panther Arena, here is our national anthem.
So proudly we broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
A nice rendition of our national anthem to kick off the home opener for the Milwaukee Wave. And once again, welcome wherever you may be tuning in here in the city of Milwaukee, Milwaukee County, the state of Wisconsin, in Kansas City, or Independence, or Kansas or Missouri, in the United States of America, the North American continent, the planet Earth, the International Space Station, or worlds beyond. Once again, it is our pleasure to bring you Wave Soccer here tonight from Milwaukee. Art, as they say, a beautiful night for indoor soccer.
That's why I saw the game
35 degrees, raining, cold, nasty, but it's hopping inside here. The weather is beautiful for indoor soccer.
It's a beautiful 70 degrees inside the UWM Panther Arena, and a familiar foe, Tom, the Kansas City Comets, the team that I started out my professional career with back in 1981 when the advertising campaign was "The Comets Are Coming." And so welcome, as you said, to the folks in Kansas City, Missouri, Independence, and around the MASL. It's great to be back with you.
Absolutely great to be back. Another season here for the Wave, their 35th. And Milwaukee, in all-time season openers, 22-12, including a victory in Tacoma last year to kick off the campaign. That would finish up at 17-5 for the regular season for the Milwaukee Wave. Wave also won their home opener last year against the now past tense Cedar Rapids Rampage, which somewhat, you could say, relocated to Orlando to become the Seawolves, but that's a totally different team. Wave in home openers, 24-10, so they've had some pretty good success in the home opener, as well as the overall season opener. This will be the fourth time they've played the Comets in a season opening game. This revised version of the Comets,
Max Ferdinand, All-League
which start playing again in 2010-11. So fourth time the Wave has played the Comets in a season opener. Milwaukee 2-1 against Kansas City. Although the Comets victorious in the last time, so to speak. The four guys who went to Tacoma last year, the Palmers, Robert and Ramon, along with Elaine Mattingly. And
alrighty.
See, I think I'm missing somebody else who might have gone.
John Sosa.
Johnny Sosa came back from San Diego. So 3 from Tacoma, 1 for San Diego. That was a team in 2016-17 that was 15-5 and won the MASL Central Division title. Wave and Comets still are division rivals, but now they're in the South Central Division, which includes St. Louis, Orlando, and Florida, Florida Tropics.
Kansas City Comets and your Milwaukee Wave.
We are underway. Comets controlling. They move it right to left as we look at the action here in the first period. The famous black turf of the UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. And a pretty nice crowd gathered here so far on opening night. Sosa trying to press forward. Ball deflected away into the middle. Bumping and banging Nacho Flores.
Comets foul.
Putting down the defender, Daniel Chimali, and
looks like number
that'll be the first
Ignacio
foul of the night called on Ignacio
Milwaukee
Nacho
Wave
Flores.
ball.
Talked about this 4 players that have rejoined Kansas City. 3 of those guys out there starting tonight. Ramon Palmer, Matt Ingu right there in the back, along with Johnny Sosa.
Matt Ingu took the foul. Quick restart for the Wave as they try to work it to Ian Bennett.
Early this season.
Now a little touch
Nice and loud.
near
Let's
side.
go Wave.
There's LSO, Luan Oliveira, number 8. Great to have Luan back. He was a teammate of John Sosa's in San Diego with the Sockers. Luan spending his first 3 years with the Wave, then 1 in Ontario with the Fury, and then the last 2 in San Diego. So great to have him back, and great to have also Robert Renaud back in the lineup, Art, coming back from that ACL injury that knocked him out of the second half of last year.
Renaud paired up here on the second line with Andre Hain and Alex Bradley, number 14 you see right there. But interesting, Giuliano Oliviero, the Wave coach, partnered up LSO.
As coming out with a shot is Ricardinho, and Petrusek with a big save.
Good chance there for Ricardinho. I was going to say, Oliviero partners up LSO with Ian Bennett and Max Ferdinand to form just a powerful offensive first line for the Wave.
So the IMAX tandem of Ian Bennett and Max Ferdinand. Now with Luan Oliveira, I guess you could call that the Limax trio. As Petrusek knocks it out,
Milwaukee,
and that ball went out of bounds on a clearance from his defensive end.
And not sure why that's not coming back to the top of the arc.
Did not hit turf glass or boards, and that should be a restart top of the arc.
Wave ball.
You saw in our Wisconsin Vision instant replay that didn't look like Petrusek cleared the line before he put that into the stands. And again, if it doesn't hit turf glass or boards, that should be a top of the arc restart.
Not sure if Kyle Trimble, the near referee here, ruled a deflection maybe.
Wave foul number 9, Robert Renaud.
Renaud picks up the foul there. Remember, in the MASL, you get 3 personal fouls in each half. On your fourth, your team gives up a 2-minute power play. One more time on the Wisconsin Vision instant replay. As you see the collision there between Renaud and James Chogba. Renaud will get it back now. Loses the touch as Palmer gets it for Kansas City. That's Ramon Palmer, number 5, and his teammate, no relation, number 51, Robert Palmer. And as we always like to say, Robert is the one who's addicted to love.
Robert, a defender, Ramon, a target forward.
You know, you think, Art, maybe some of our audience is not aware of the Robert Palmer addicted to love? I guess that's a few years back he cut that tune.
Well, tonight's theme, Tom, is Fortnite, which, how much do you know about Fortnite, Tom?
Only that a lot of professional athletes like to play it.
Yeah, it's a theme that I'm not going to talk anything about because I don't know anything about Fortnite. You talked about the addicted to love. Yeah, I'm sure there's some viewers out there that have no idea what you're talking about. But no, me trying to talk about Fortnite would be as awkward as Nick Faldo quoting Imagine Dragons after Patrick Reed won the Masters.
Defensive ball.
Welcome to the new age, he said.
All right, free kick Sosa. Gibson coming through with a shot. That's just off the mark. It looked like Lucas Rodriguez taking a crack at it there. So the Comets basically with, I believe it's 8 of their core that won the division title back in 2016-17 with a 15-5 record. Back then, Steven Peterson was their goalkeeper. That was a team that the Wave actually defeated in the quarterfinals that year, an exciting playoff series.
Well, you talked about the goalkeeping situation. Casey Gasson played most of the games last season for Kansas City. They had Jeff Ritchie played a couple, and Saxby, was it? Played another handful of games too, but Brett Petrusek is going to be a real key. Kansas City lost 9 games last year, Tom, by 2 goals or less. Those are games that a goalkeeper can make a big difference in. And so Petrusek, who won 3 games against Kansas City in the nets for Cedar Rapids last year in December, he won 3 consecutive games against them. Kansas City must have saw something they liked in Brett Petrusek, and now here he is in goal for the Comets.
Petrusek career-wise, 29 starts, 17 wins, 9 losses, 3 overtime losses, 6.38 points against average and 681 save percentage. Meanwhile, on the other side, Josh Lemos in his 3rd season with the Wave. Josh has put up tremendous numbers. 36 starts, he's 27-7 with a 5.24 goals against average and a 680 save percentage.
So there you go. Good numbers there for Petrusek, 17-9.
Whoa, what a shot there. And the Comets take the lead. And let's see who that was that cracked the left footer.
That was Mattingu.
Alain Mattingu, the Frenchman from Park University in Kansas City. One of 10 players, I believe, who played for the Park Pirates at one time. And let's take a look one more time.
Watch again. I think it was a toe poke, Tom. Let's see how he hits this ball. Yep, a little toe poke that might have deflected off the Wave forward, sliding back. Let's take one more look right there. Yep. I believe that might have hit Pereira and kind of knuckled past Lemos.
Time of the goal at 5:03, and the Comets take the lead 1-0. No assist on the play as Mattingu picked off an errant clearance, stepped in. And perhaps with a little bit of help on the deflection, was able to put it in, but nonetheless, a good shot there. Good crack on goal. And the Comets with some momentum for the early goal. Never underestimate the first goal of the game. Historically, Art, I believe it's nearly 70% of the teams that score first go on to win the game. Obviously, we're not hoping that's the case here. But you can never underestimate the first goal. Oh man, my. Great chance almost for the Comets.
Well, it was a great chance that Brian Perez wishes he had back because it came point blank off the glass right to him, and he missed a wide open net that would have put the Comets up too.
Must have just hit him just a bit high or something there. He sure looked like he had a great chance there. Still remains 1-0 KC.
Brian Perez, a big-time finisher, the Comets' 2nd leading scorer last season. And that's not one that Perez is going to miss very often. Brian Perez has been a Wave killer over the years as well.
He sure has. Now, Isaac Pereira near side, the 2nd year forward, Mexican native, trying to work his way through, and Petrusek slides out, and Pereira stays with it and scores! How about that? We're tied at 1.
Number 18, Isaac Perez.
Didn't look like there was much happening, but just great individual effort by Pereira to create a goal there. Beat 2 defenders and the goalkeeper Petrusek to tie it up at 1 apiece.
Call that a defensive attack goal where your defense, the work defensively, earns you a chance. And you see right there, Pereira just nonstop in his defensive effort.
Watch Johnny Sosa here. It was actually an intended back pass by Sosa that was off the mark. Petrusek slid out, couldn't get it, and Pereira stuck it in the back of the untended net.
Yeah, Petrusek and John Sosa not on the same page there. I'm not sure why Petrusek was coming forward. John Sosa facing Petrusek was trying to play a little ball back to him, and unfortunately Petrusek overran it.
So tied at 1 as Isaac Pereira knocks home the goal. 5'5", 150-pounder. 21-year-old out of Irapuato, Mexico. Ian Bennett. He, of the 50-plus goals the last 2 years, 54 2 seasons ago, 50 last year, one of the pure superstars in the Major Arena Soccer League. And a pretty impressive line of clothing apparel that bears his initials, IB, and the number 26. Out of bounds near side, and we have reached the point of the media timeout.
Kansas City Comets
7:59 left to go, first period. We are tied at 1.
We check in with Doreen Michaels. Where are you hanging, Doreen? Cut up.
222 wearing this really cool beanie that you can get in the Wave store outside of section.
Isaac Pereira, who had a goal and 2 assists in 6 games last year for Milwaukee, bags the Waves' season-opening goal this year to tie it up at 1. We were talking about Josh Lemos and his very impressive goalkeeping numbers, Art. But perhaps one of the most underrated stat posted by Josh last year, 3 goals and 10 assists for 13 points. He was in the top 10 in team scoring. And ironically enough, with the MASL rule changes this year, which prohibit goalkeepers from controlling on their offensive half of midfield until the fourth quarter, we're probably not going to see Josh replicate those offensive numbers.
Not unless he can have some big fourth quarters.
That'd be true, unless Coach Oliviero decides to play him at forward, should they need his services up there. But yeah, maybe we talk a little bit about that more. I'm not really sure what the impetus was for that rule change, but definitely going to cut down on Josh Lemos' offensive productivity this year.
You see one change as well, Tom, is the netting now behind the goals. That shot right there by John Sosa up into the netting behind the goal.
Ball out of play.
It's the same netting the Admirals have at their Milwaukee Admirals, the local hockey team here. That's the same netting they use. Good. I think that's a good change. There's a wall behind each goal that if someone's sitting up against that wall and takes a shot, that's very dangerous.
But do it nice and loud.
Well, it's certainly a good change for people who might not always be paying attention if you're sitting back there.
Like you and I.
A little louder now.
As we were paying a little bit of attention to the Blast Mississauga game, and Dwayne DiRosario, the former MLS All-Star, most valuable player, scored the first goal in the club's history against the Blast.
Big number 14.
Double D, Dwayne DiRosario.
Blast has just scored again. Trying to see if we can pick up the score there.
Ball out of play.
5-2 Blast, 6-2 now Blast.
It was 3-0 Baltimore initially, and then the Metro Stars came back with a couple of goals, but Baltimore on their size challenge field at CQ Arena in Towson, Maryland. Just a very, very difficult team to contend with. Not to mention, in fact, Metro Stars playing their first game ever.
I believe Mello just scored for Baltimore, and I also believe he just proposed to his girlfriend after the goal.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Now, I could be wrong, but that's what it looked like.
Oliveira will play it back to midfield as Wave works around now Max Ferdinand. Max, the Wave's second leading scorer each of the last 2 seasons and the league's leading playmaker. Top assist man, 32-year-old out of Reading, Pennsylvania.
Help him out.
Over to Jonathan Santos. Santos, a veteran defender who's been with the Wave for many seasons. This is his second stint. Max trying to work his way in. Sosa trying to blast one out of there. Foul's going to be called, and I believe it's going to get Sosa. You see, he didn't like the call too much. Let's check it out one more time. Initially, Max going against Leo Gibson, and then probably should have called a foul against Perez. Looked like he tripped him up.
It was definitely Perez who got Max after a nice little scissor move that time by Max Ferdinand.
Here we go, Max Ferdinand 2.
All right, here's LSO. Luan Salas Oliveira will backheel it to Max. See if he can isolate him up here on the near side. He'll go back to Oliveira. KC scored first on Mattingew's goal at 5:03 as the header attempt by Oliveira was off the mark, and then Bennett fanned on the rebound. Oh, great chance in front. Looked like Ian again had a chance there. Couldn't quite get it. Ruggles strigs it out. Drew with a shot, that one wide. Wave starting to put some shots in quick order on the Kansas City goal. Trogba trying to get that. Lemos got tripped up a bit as he got out to midfield, and then Trogba with an empty net from a tough angle couldn't convert. And then Gibson with a shot that Santos is there to block.
Both teams with good chances, but nobody can hit the target.
Good step up there by Santos. Take it away. Here comes Bennett back the other way for Milwaukee. KC quickly getting 4 back. Andre Hayne with it. Andre, the big guy in his 3rd season with the Wave, is 4th overall. Initially started with the St. Louis Ambush. Comets take it away. Santos stepped up as both he and Mattingew went down. No call. They play on. And now midfield. Comets come away with it. And as they send it to the middle, Lemos there to scoop it up. Counter-attacking for the Wave. Here's Drew Ruggles. Dreadlock Drew, as public address announcer Van McNeil likes to introduce him as.
Comets foul.
Gets caught up on the play that time.
Number 51, Robert Palmer.
And they're going to call Robert Palmer. Either him or Adam James. They could have called either one for a foul that time.
Looked like Adam James there.
Ricardinho.
Oh, I guess it was Palmer.
Robert Renault.
Robert Renault. Robert with a great chip, and he scores! Hey, welcome back. R squared. 2-1 Milwaukee.
Renault.
Well, Renault with the goal, Tom, but Tenzin Rampa on the celebration just injured himself. Watch the goal here by Renault. Little side foot into the upper corner, a postage stamp there by Renault. And then after the goal, during the celebration, Tenzin Rampa might have rolled his ankle. Let's watch right here. Rampa comes in, and he's down.
Boy, unlucky for Tenzin. The Madison native
Injured player on the field.
who played his college ball for the Milwaukee Panthers and now in his 11th season with the Wave.
Tenzin Rampa.
Boy, what an unlucky way to start the season, huh?
Couldn't catch the end of it. You saw Rampa coming in on the celebration. I'm not sure if the guys downstairs have a better view of that one to see what he did. Looks like they're working on his left knee.
Well, of course, Tenzin very excited, I'm sure, to see his teammate Renault get a goal here in the season opener. Robert, last year in 14 games, he was on track, Art, to be a serious MVP candidate along with Ian and Max. And, of course, the man who eventually won it was Frank Tayo from Solis de Sonora. As we see Tenzin
How about a hand, number 2?
starting to get up and limp off
Tenzin
toward the
Rampa.
Wave bench on the near side. But, yeah, Robert got hurt in a game down in Monterey, as I recall, and unfortunately injured his ACL, couldn't back in. And hopefully it's we're not talking major knee injury for Tenzin Rampa. But
Not a good sign because number 2, Tenzin Rampa, the Wave captain, is as tough as they come. You're not going to see him limp off the field unless he is got a serious injury.
yeah, that's a good point.
Known Tenzin for a long time. That guy is rock solid. And you talk about an unfortunate injury.
Milwaukee Wave 2.
Tenzin going back to the locker room
City
with
Comets 1.
one of the members of the Wave training staff. So, again, we'll give you an update if we get one. Meanwhile, the Comets have it. Wave back out on top, 2-1. Milwaukee with its first lead of the contest. Good step up there as Bradley sends it ahead. And now ripping the shot just wide.
Noise, Wave fans, that's the key. Get it loud.
I think Ferdinand was
This is
trying to
our
pass that
house.
ball, Tom, but he just got under it a little bit.
Angel Curiel now with the possession. Angel Curiel, also known as Chino. And I have yet to see a photo of him smiling. But maybe that's part of his thing. to augment his professional appearance.
Well, he would have been smiling had Ferdinand played that ball a little lower because he was the guy at the far post who went right by.
Well, I'm not saying that Angel never smiles. It's just that we never see a photo of him smiling. Bradley play it across, knocked to midfield. And now back to the keeper, Petrusek. In case you're wondering, Marcio Liete, the Waves veteran defender, one of the stars of this team as well, not available tonight. Hopefully we're going to see Marcio back for the Waves' next game, which, ironically enough, is going to be 2 weeks from today in Kansas City for the Comets home opener. Foul called as
number 9, Brian Perez,
Max Ferdinand got tripped down. Perez called for the foul. That's his second.
Perez lucky this isn't a 2-minute penalty. You see Max win the ball. Good non-2-minute penalty call there. Just a simple foul.
Chino to Max.
Comets will go to Mississauga to take on the Metro Stars on December 13th, and then they'll be home at the Arena in Independence to host the Wave. The Silverstein Eye Care Center Arena on Saturday, December 15th. So you fans in Kansas City, make sure to get your tickets on that one. That should be a great rematch between these two teams. Waves' next home game will not be here until the annual New Year's Eve Day game on December 31st, when they will be coming back home.
90 seconds.
Milwaukee will be taking on the St. Louis Ambush that day in a 3 o'clock kickoff. Call the Wave office for tickets, 414-224-WAVE. As Leo Gibson gets called for a foul there. Wave will be in Kansas City on the 15th, and they'll be in Lakeland to take on the Florida Tropics. As Ian Bennett bangs one in to make it 3-1. IB Plush, 3-1 Milwaukee.
And he's doing a Fortnite emote. Number 20.
Ian Bennett's got such a quick release, but that play started, Tom, when Leo Gibson, who committed the foul, did not get back defensively on the restart. Allowed Bennett to receive the ball, take his defender on 1v1, and then just hit a bullet into the lower right-hand corner that beat Petrusek. You see Gibson chasing behind the play, not able to help Lucas Rodriguez, and Bennett makes him pay.
There is nobody who can hit it low to the side netting than Ian Bennett.
From that bad angle. Well, he's got it down.
And IB doing a little dance after the goal. 3 straight goals for the Wave to take a 3-1 lead here late in the first period.
So you were saying that 70% of the games where the team scores the first goal, they win. What's the percentage of the team coming back and scoring 3 right after the team that scored the 1?
Work on projects that bring people together.
I would think
like the future home of the
maybe 33%. I just remember the research on in all sports, whoever scores first wins nearly 70% of the time. But
your Milwaukee Wave.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that 3 straight scores after that is a high probability. But that's what the Wave has done tonight. After Mattingou opened up the scoring at 5:03 for the Comets, Pereira, Renault, and Ian Bennett, the latest tally, to put Milwaukee up 3-1.
I'm sure one of the points of emphasis for Kim Runtved in Kansas City was their defense this year. They gave up 190 points last year through 22 games. And not a good start here for the Comets in the first quarter against the Wave.
Foul is going to be called as
Comets foul.
Adams James.
6, Adam James, his first. Milwaukee
got called for the foul that time.
3 seconds remain.
3.3. Santos will send it long. And eventually Renault takes a crack as the buzzer sounds. Good first period for the Wave as they bounce back with 3 straight goals after Kansas City initially took the lead. At the end of 1, it is Milwaukee 3, Kansas City 1. We'll be back with more. This is Wave Soccer on MASL.TV.
What did I get from my father? His spirit. I got his warmth. His understanding. What did I learn? His passion for helping others was for me everything I was meant to be.
While every agent's story is different, the promise is still the same. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Hupy and Abraham has been voted best by the public year after year. Now, top media outlets have rated them best personal injury law firm.
You only have one opportunity to call the best.
Hupy and Abraham.
I got almost $4 million.
800,000.
If you've been injured in an accident, tell them you mean business. Call Hupy and Abraham, 800-800-5678, and get their win or it's free guarantee.
Every holiday season, Hupy and Abraham likes to get in the spirit of giving. That's why we have our holiday cash contest. And we're doing it again this year. Who couldn't use some extra cash to buy gifts, host a family feast, or maybe even take a vacation? Now is your chance to win some extra money during the holidays. We will be giving away cash in November and December to a few lucky winners. Don't miss your chance to win. Go to hupy.com/holidaycash to learn more and enter today.
We had a vision of creating a sports medicine program from the grassroots level, from peewees to the pros. At Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital, we are taking care of athletes and getting them back on the field. Over 80% of the patients that come to see us for sports-related injuries do not need surgery. That really surprises people. We can relate to our patients because many of us have been there. Athletes like to say they give 110%. Well, guess what? So do we.
Check it out. Hey, we could go down this waterfall, honey. What do you think? So beautiful.
You want some? It's good. It's refreshing.
I've never been in love before you. I know now. I've never been in love before.
This is what our version of financial planning looks like. Tomorrow's important, but she's only 7 once. Spend your life living. Today's the day. Find an advisor at northwesternmutual.com.
Check it out.
Chug, 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 chug.
Getting ready for the start of the second period here in Milwaukee. Wave leading the Kansas City Comets 3-1 here at the UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. We have the final moments of our between periods contest going on. As Art Kramer mentioned before, it's Fortnite's theme night here tonight at the Panther Arena. And of course, Wave front office has set up a lot of great theme nights for this upcoming season. 11 more home games to follow. Next one, as we mentioned, will be on New Year's Eve day at 3 p.m. when the Wave hosts the St. Louis Ambush. Call the Wave office for tickets at 414-224-WAVE. Also want to mention, Art, that we have a couple of holiday camps coming up here, sponsored by the Wave. Thursday, December 27th, Friday, December 28th from noon to 3 at Eline Soccer Park. $75 is the cost for that. 2 days of instruction by Wave players, Wave athletic socks, and soccer ball, and ticket to that game on December 31st, so that's a good deal. And then, if you want to actually get on the black turf here at Panther Arena,
underway.
The one-day camp will be held on Monday morning, December 31st, 8:30 to 12:30 before the Wave game. Cost of that $50. Instruction from the Wave players, Wave athletic socks, a soccer ball, and ticket, of course, to that game to follow later in the day. Call the Wave office again for info on that, 414-224-WAVE. Underway, second period. Wave with it, they go right to left. Some thoughts from the first period.
No, I thought the Wave came out, played well offensively. Kansas City got the early goal. Looked like they were going to get off to a good start, but really no surprise that the Wave's been able to capitalize here offensively.
Bennett to the corner as he's double teamed and eventually gets the foul called. Again, our officials tonight, Kyle Trimble, along with Brian Miller.
Milwaukee Wave ball from the corner.
Brian had to do a bit of traveling. He was working that game in Orlando last night. In case you missed it, a 5-4 shootout victory for the St. Louis Ambush.
On the ball.
Santos will
Ball out of play.
boot one up high
Kansas City
on the
Comets
restart.
ball.
I'm sure Brian Miller was thrilled leaving 75 in Orlando and coming here to 25 degrees and rainy.
Attention Wave fans. Attention Wave fans. Do you have your cell phone?
Comets with it. Flores at midfield, had it poked away. And here's Robert Renault, R squared, getting his campaign off to a good start with a goal in the first period. Renault coming back from ACL surgery that basically knocked him out of the second half of last season. So I'm sure both he and the Wave organization happy to see him get a goal right off the bat here. And Robert, of course, not just a goal scorer, he's a good all-around player. Good two-way player. Honest two-way player, as they say, Art, in hockey circles, which, of course, Robert, being from Quebec, is very familiar with. Ricardinho able to knock it up. Renault to Santos. Santos getting some pressure now. Will lead back for Lemos, the goalkeeper. And at midfield,
foul, number 10,
Isaac
Lucas
Pereira knocked down. Interesting combination here, Art. You've got the big guy, Andre Hain, number 99. Andre goes about 6'3" or so. And then Pereira and Ricardinho flanking him at 5'5" each.
Milwaukee
I was going to say barely 6'3" if you put those guys one next to each other, one on top of the other guy.
Yeah, Andre's the friendly giant out with those two guys.
Well, Kansas City looks better, Tom. Obviously, these four guys are going to help them that they brought back. And then the addition of Petrusek in the goal as well. But, you know, the one question I have with Kansas City is, can they be the same team without their playmaker, Vahid Asadpour? Because he's really the guy that kept it all together in the midfield. You got Sosa, Madingu, and Robert Palmer all backline players. Ramon Palmer, a frontline player, but who's going to be the guys in the midfield that really connect those lines?
Comets ball.
Yeah, good point. You don't easily replace a guy like Asadpour, that's for sure. Perennial All-Pro midfielder. Really knew the game well.
Receive a really cool canvas pen and gift.
But
order yours today. Find out
he
more
is finally retired, at least for now. I always keep thinking the Metro Stars have got to be in some conversations with him if he's back up in his hometown of Toronto.
And with that Wave fans,
I don't think Vahid was that old, probably mid-30s. Asadpour and Brian Harris, the defender, were two of the real key components on those great Comets teams from a few years ago, especially the one that won the final MISL championship back in 13-14, and then the team the following year that was undefeated during the regular season but lost in the playoffs.
Good to have a Canadian team back in the league, Tom.
Absolutely.
Both you and I are big fans of the Canadian national anthem, so we'll get to hear that again this season.
Yep, and of course, you've had firsthand experience coaching indoor soccer up in the great nation of Canada as coach of the Shooting Stars for most of that season that they were in back in the 90s.
And unfortunately, we lost a great man in Hector Marinero Sr. this past year. Hector, the former general manager of the Toronto Shooting Star and father of the great Hall of Fame, legendary player Hector Marinero Jr.
Togba trying to get around Renault, can't do it. Robert now trying to come 2-1 with Max. Robert coming up, lays off to Max. Oh, just beyond his outstretched reach. Good counter that time after the steal by Renault. Now the Comets with a chance. Chipped over to the near side. Ruggles will dig it out. Nice look at midfield to get it for Renault. Wave so far looking pretty good as far as their possession is concerned, especially in the back. Max at midfield, trying to get around Matt and go, and he is knocked down. Foul is called.
Number 5, Ramon Palmer, his first.
Oh, they called that on Ramon Palmer. Take a look one more time. Yeah, I guess Renault gave him a shove into Matt and go, which couldn't have felt too good for Max because Matt and go is a big guy.
Chano on the ball to Daniel Chamale.
Matengo has got the only goal so far tonight for KC. That put the Comets up 1-0 in the first. Wave
Ball out of play.
came back with
Wave
3
ball.
straight to close out the period from Pereira, Renault, and Bennett.
Fans 21 and over, be sure to head across the street to Major Goolsby's following tonight's game. Show your wave ticket.
LSO
Receive a
getting
buy
ready
one,
to put
get
it
one
in.
free offer on draft beer and rail drinks.
30-year-old
Major Goolsby's, Milwaukee's #1 sports
out of
bar.
Recife,
For over
Brazil.
45
Comes from the
years,
same
proud to
area,
partner with the Wave
basically
again.
the same town that Marcio Leite hails from. Marcio was instrumental in getting LSO to Milwaukee the first time around. And a little bit of recruiting from former coach Keith Tozer, helping out in that acquisition.
Keith was at the game last night in Orlando.
Saw that he had been working out with the Seawolves for a while, which had to be some invaluable instruction for Orlando. A lot of those guys really had no exposure to the indoor game prior to that. They've got some talent, but it might take a little while for them to get fully geared up to the indoor game.
Way foul number
They're going to need to get used to that field. That is a long, narrow field in Orlando.
Comets ball.
And they were struggling to get 5 behind the ball. You had big gaps between their front line and their back line last night. That was noticeable against St. Louis.
Lemos comes out to sweep that one away as Matengu was bearing down on him. You could put 2 Seco Arena fields inside the
yellow
Silver
lines.
Spurs. Silver Spurs.
In between the yellow lines in Orlando is about the same size as Baltimore's entire pitch.
Foul is called as
Comets foul.
Oliveira got knocked down, and you see Luan is not very happy.
Milwaukee Wave ball.
What did Orlando in last night was their inability to score
Comets
the shootouts.
foul, number
They missed a
4,
shootout in
Alain
regulation, and
Mattingly.
they missed 2 more
That's his 3rd.
in the shootout.
Mattingly's 3rd.
And
Boy.
Gordy
Milwaukee
Gerson,
Wave ball.
their top player, missed 2 of those shootouts.
Well, Gordy got knocked out
Number
late in the
75,
first half
Jonathan
with
Santos
apparent
on the ball
leg
for the
injury. He
Wave.
came back and he looked okay, but boy, my goodness, when he was unable to make the connection on that shootout, that was a sure goal right there. And really probably would have turned the tide for the Seawolves. But give credit to St. Louis, especially the embattled Casey Clark coming up with a big game. Casey, whose career record in 2 seasons was 1-16, stood tall last night for the ambush, especially in the shootout.
No, he played well other than hitting the superstructure with 2 throws. The new rule in the league, the goalkeeper can now throw the ball over 3 lines.
Bennett turning, trying to find Max off the end board. And eventually, Comets go. Yeah, so as we talked about, goalkeepers cannot possess the ball offensively beyond midfield until the 4th quarter, but you can throw it over 3 lines this year. However, you better be able to throw it on the line because, as Casey Clark found out, you get a little bit too much launch angle on those throws, they're going to end up in the scoreboard.
Well, it's interesting because Casey Clark could pull out some old ambush tapes because Jamie Swanner used to be great at throwing the ball the full length of the field down to Steve Kuntz, Steve Maurer, and Mark Moser. They used to do that constantly, and it would be instant offense for St. Louis. Swanner to Moser, Kuntz, and Maurer.
Jamie was probably the best I ever saw. And, you know, ironically, he came up with you in the Canton Invaders playing in the smaller arena of the Canton Civic Center. And, boy, he could almost literally just stand up and throw a fastball length of the field into the other net.
Well, Jamie was a draft choice of, who was it, Tom Detroit in Major League Baseball?
I think it was Detroit, and then he had a tryout with the Cardinals later on. Cleared away in the middle. Now Flores with it. And his shot is blocked.
Ball out of play.
Good reaction that time by Chino to go down and deflect that shot.
It'll belong to the
And it'll be time for our immediate timeout. 7:14 left to go here in the first half. No scoring yet in this period. It's still Milwaukee 3, Kansas City 1. This is Wave Soccer. So back to the action. Comets put it in off the corner kick, and a shot was off target. KC reloading. Again, we're with you here from the Milwaukee Panther Arena in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tom Wynn along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer. Good one going here so far. The regular season opener between the Wave and the Kansas City Comets. 33rd regular season meeting between these clubs in a series that began in the 2010-11 season as Daniel Chamale clears it out of bounds from his defensive end without hitting turf, boards, or glass, and free kick top of the arc, Kansas City.
Kansas City struggled last year on restarts and on the power play, only 20% on the power play. But this is where John Sosa can really help him, the guy that's on the ball right there.
And he steps over and lets Lucas Rodriguez take a shot, and it blocked by the wall. I think Jonathan Santos might have got a part of that. So the Wave able to hold the fort there. Wave, as I said, they've really knocked the ball around pretty well here tonight. And that errant pass by Chamale, really one of the few mistakes they've made. They've been very solid in the back tonight. Good, solid veteran core of players here for Coach Oliviero with the Wave this year.
That's the key, veteran, right? They've always said in indoor soccer, the veteran players seem to be the ones that excel.
Uh-oh, good takeaway in midfield by the Comets here. They come the other way. James running onto it, takes a shot, save, rebound, they score. And it looked like one of the Palmers put that one in.
Ramon Palmer.
Ramon Palmer. The assist will go to James, who got off a pretty good shot that Lemos had to make a nice save on. But then Ramon was there to clean it up. And the Comets break Milwaukee's three-goal run. It's 3-2.
It was a 3-on-2. The pass was a little bit too far out in front of James, but right there, Ramon Palmer on the doorstep. You watch Lemos right here from behind him. Tried to kick that shot away, but didn't get it away far enough. And Palmer was there. Renault not able to recover at the back post.
So Ramon Palmer with his first this season. Again, both he and Robert back with Kansas City after a year in Tacoma. In fact, those two have been teammates now, Art, I believe, basically since their professional careers began. Most of it with Kansas City, but last year with Tacoma, along with their current and former teammate, Elaine Mattingill. It's like the Stars had them for 1 year and said, they're okay, but let's send them back to KC. Again, the Palmers, both from Kinston, Jamaica, both played collegiately at Park University in Kansas City, where 10 of the Comets have played. Shot by LSO, deflects off a defender. You can put it on the board. Yes! He's back. 4-2, Milwaukee.
Good answer there by the Wave. LSO comes right back, takes the shot, and Manningu backing up into his own goal. I believe that ball may have hit his hand before it went in behind him.
The assist to number 24, mighty Max Ferdinand. Who wants the autograph ball? Make some noise.
Check it out one more time on the Wisconsin Vision Instant Replay.
Milwaukee Wave goal.
You saw Kansas City got caught double teaming there along the boards. I believe it was Max Ferdinand that found LSO.
Max will get the assist, and Mighty Max picks up his first assist of the year. Again, the two-time defending Playmaker of the Year in the MASL. Both Max and Ian, all first-teamers in the MASL last year, as Chamale gets called for foul chopping down Kyle Williams. Kyle spells his first name Kiel, which I've always said, Art, he should be a St. Louis native, spelling it like that, in homage to the old Kiel Center.
Well, just the fact that Max Ferdinand is the two-time reigning assist leader in the league is a reason you got to be very careful when you go to double team him, because he's a guy that can pass the ball, and that time he found LSO.
Robert Palmer with a shot that misses left and crawls up on the boards. Wave will put it in play. Well, Max has got to be as skillful and crafty as any ball handler we've seen in Wave history. There's no doubt about it. 6 years with Baltimore, now in his fourth season with Milwaukee. And especially the the combination of he and Ian Bennett has really been sensational for the Wave. Good job by Lemos to clear downfield and avoid the 3-line pass. As I said, keepers can throw it 3 lines this year, but they cannot boot it 3 lines. And
did you just say boot? We'll give you a pass on that one.
Foul called as you saw Ricardinho got put down by James Trogba. So each team has a goal here in the second period. After Milwaukee had a 3-1 lead in the opener. And there's Togba again. You better be careful. They're going to run him for persistent fouling with one more.
Good little quick move that time by Robert Renault along the boards.
How do you think Roberts looks so far tonight coming off that
he's
surgery?
Been really good. He's got the goal, but his quickness looks good. He's had a couple defensive plays where he's won the ball.
Well, as I've said, he's a man who was born to play indoor soccer with his physical build and tenacity, and not to mention, I think, a very underrated skill set as well to go along with it.
He's looked good, and quite honestly, Kansas City looks a lot better as well, Tom. They're playing very physical tonight. I like to see that from them. Have not given the Wave forwards a lot of space, been very physical in their approach.
Santos with a nice job to win the ball there and play it back.
And as we've seen over the years with this team, Tom, you don't want to let Kansas City hang around in games. They've had the propensity against the Wave for coming back late and eking out some crushing defeats for the Wave.
Well, we've seen that many, many times over the years. Again, 33rd regular season meeting. Wave leads the all-time series, 17-15, including a perfect 4-0 last year against the Comets. However, in postseason, Kansas City is still with the edge. They lead the Wave 9-6. Last year was the first time in 7 consecutive seasons that the teams did not meet in the postseason. So if you're thinking the Wave has played the Comets a lot since they came in, they have. Ian Bennett, number 2 on the night. Wave leads 5-2.
Once again, he's got such a quick release, and Petrusek not able to set his feet to make the save. And not a very good effort in front of Petrusek defensively.
Angel Curiel. Chino will get the assist. Check it out here. Chino lays it off to Ian, and watch this.
There's a little nutmeg on Sosa, but that right there by Brian Perez, turning his back sideways. You got to be strong. Face up, block the shot. You see Perez turn, and all you're doing is creating a screen in front of Petrusek when you do that.
So 5-2 Milwaukee with 2:42 left to go first half. A couple of updated scores. Looks like halftime in Lakeland, where the Tropics are playing a rather fatigued ambush team from St. Louis. Florida leading 4-0 in their home opener. The Tropics, that is. Takeaway. Chino starts back. 4-on-2 for the Wave. And a little hot for Pereira to handle that one. Cleared back downfield by the Comets. Meanwhile, 7-3 was the last score I saw from Baltimore. Di Rosario has a couple of goals tonight for the Metro Stars. So I guess, Art, it's safe to say that Di Rosario is going to adapt fairly quickly to the indoor game, it would appear. Not that anybody should be shocked based on the fact he was an outstanding outdoor player for many, many years. One of the prime stars in MLS in his prime.
7th all-time leading scorer in MLS history, 4-time MLS Cup winner, along with an MVP, but great technical player, left-footed player who will really help them on restarts and power plays as well.
LSO is put down. Foul is called as Robert Palmer delivered the wood right there. Check this one out. Well, maybe not as graphic as it looked like in real time, but I can tell you LSO has taken a few knocks tonight, and he's not too happy about it. But it's great to have him back. Talking about Luan Salas Oliveira after his three-season odyssey to the West Coast, 1 year in Ontario with the Fury and the last 2 with the San Diego Sockers. He had enough warm weather in Southern California. He's ready to come back here and take winter like a man here in Milwaukee.
1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute left to go in the first half. I'm sure that's exactly what he was thinking, too. Lemos tracking it down, and that's going to go. So the Comets will play it in from their own end.
Coming up, our top 4 dance teams from the Milwaukee Wave dance competition held earlier today here at Panzer Arena.
And Petrusek under pressure put it up in the stands. Was there a deflection? If not, it'll be top of the arc restart for Milwaukee. And perhaps Coach Oliviero might.
Now, one of the changes they made as well is only 2 timeouts this year. And so I think Giuliano is going to be really
conservative, probably. With
absolutely.
See the officials talking it over. Kansas City, of course, claiming there was a deflection, but the Wave said no. And the officials agree. It was not deflected, did not hit turf boards or glass. Free kick top of the arc. There you see Van McNeil in his costume for tonight. Ferdinand with a shot, save Petrusek. Rebound follower, no, and that one blocked in tight. Oh, big save by Petrusek off the blast by Max.
Petrusek's best save of the evening came at a big time. That would have been a huge goal for the Wave. I love the approach by the Wave, shooting directly off the restart. Haven't seen them do that much lately.
No, I agree. And direct always the best approach, especially from the top of the arc, I think. Greg Howes certainly showed us that for many years.
Speaking of which, I sent a text message to Housey today, telling him the Wave was open in their season. He said to wish everybody in Milwaukee, said hello.
Greg back in his native Washington these days. Last season with the Wave in 2011-12. One of the greats in Milwaukee Wave history. And that's going to do it for the first half. So a good first half for the Wave as they take a 3-goal lead into the locker room. And a nice crowd on hand, giving them a good ovation. You see Brett Petrusek. He had a stressful first half. Made some big saves. But that man there scored a couple goals for the Wave. And Milwaukee on top 5-2 here at halftime. Crowd enjoying itself here, and the Waves' 35th season opener. Again, Milwaukee 22-12 in season opening games. Let's send it down. Van McNeil talking with Giuliano Oliviero.
Jack Gordon coming to you from the field here with head coach of your Milwaukee Wave, Giuliano Oliviero. Coach, you got to be happy with what you're seeing here this first half.
Yeah, really proud of the guys' effort. Obviously, it's only halftime, and we got a lot of work ahead of us, but the energy's been great. I thought they played really smart and putting on a great show. Really exciting on both sides of the ball. You know, Kansas City's got a great team, and we know this game is far from over.
Yeah, Kansas City repopulating. They're kind of, they're back, really.
Yeah, a lot of great veteran players that caused us fits for years are back in the Comets uniform. So they're keeping us on our toes, and we're ready for anything they're going to throw at us. We got to be prepared for them.
Lastly, I got to ask you about Tenny, Tenzin Rampa, co-captain of your Milwaukee Wave. We saw him take that tumble. What happened there?
It is his knee. Obviously, he's going to have to get it checked out a little more extensively than the doctor checking him out on the field. So cross our fingers. We're hoping for the best, and we're praying for him.
All right, head coach of your Milwaukee Wave, Giuliano Oliviero, the Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital Coach's Corner. We've got lots more fun coming your way. Wave fans, let me hear you one more time. Over to Doreen. Doreen.
This is a story about a battle against all the things in life that are hard, and sometimes people don't win. Sometimes stockings are still empty on Christmas morning, or kids go to bed hungry, or don't go to bed at all because they don't have a home. But there's an army dedicated to fighting this battle with hope and compassion. And anyone can join them, anywhere there's a red kettle, because at Christmas, love has an army that fights for good.
Huppy and Abraham has been voted best by the public year after year. Now, top media outlets have rated them best personal injury law firm.
You only have one opportunity to call the best.
Huppy and Abraham. I got almost $4 million.
800,000.
If you've been injured in an accident, tell them you mean business. Call Huppy and Abraham, 800-800-5678, and get their win or it's free guarantee.
We had a vision of creating a sports medicine program from the grassroots level, from peewees to the pros. At Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital, we are taking care of athletes and getting them back on the field. Over 80% of the patients that come to see us for sports-related injuries do not need surgery. That really surprises people. We can relate to our patients because many of us have been there. Athletes like to say they give 110%. Well, guess what? So do we.
How do you see yourself at Wisconsin Vision? Whether you're at lunch with friends, the gym, office, or out for a night in the town, Wisconsin Vision carries designer eyewear to fit every lifestyle. With convenient locations throughout Wisconsin, Wisconsin Vision makes it easy to update your look. Plus, they accept most vision insurance plans.
Call to schedule a $49 eye exam
And ask how to get 30% off your first pair of complete glasses and 50% off your second complete pair. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
Every holiday season, Huppy and Abraham likes to get in the spirit of giving. That's why we have our holiday cash contest. And we're doing it again this year. Who couldn't use some extra cash to buy gifts, host a family feast, or maybe even take a vacation? Now is your chance to win some extra money during the holidays. We will be giving away cash in November and December to a few lucky winners. Don't miss your chance to win. Go to huppy.com/holidaycash to learn more and enter today.
Check it out. Hey, we could go down this water pond. What do you think? So beautiful.
You want some?
It's good. It's refreshing.
This is what our version of financial planning looks like. Tomorrow's important, but she's only 7 once. Spend your life living. Today's the day. Find an advisor at northwesternmutual.com.
into the back of the net. Medina! Go for the birthday boy!
The Ambassador, Milwaukee's landmark Art Deco hotel, is the official hotel of your Milwaukee Wave. Beautifully renovated and seamlessly appointed with every modern comfort. The Ambassador offers a bridge between the city's legendary past and its cosmopolitan present. A stay at the Ambassador is a stay at a warm, gracious home away from home, served by true ambassadors of hospitality. The Ambassador Hotel, the official hotel of your Milwaukee Wave.
What did I get from my father? His spirit. I got his warmth, his understanding. What did I learn? His passion for helping others was for me everything I was meant to be.
While every agent's story is different, the promise is still the same. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Oh, hey, sorry I didn't see you there. Just getting ready for the 2019 Milwaukee Milkmen season. Do you not recognize me yet? Van the Milkman McNeil. And speaking of milkmen, special delivery! The 2019 Milwaukee Milkmen opening season schedule is here. Trust me, it is pro baseball that is utterly different. Family fun for everyone, from different theme nights, delicious food, tasty beverages, and more. Check out the schedule. Get your tickets now at MilwaukeeMilkmen.com.
goal! Oh, what a shot! And Santos trying to pick up the shot of the goal! Oh, what a shot! About what he's got. They just don't have it on the field. There it is! So we are just about done with our halftime festivities here from Milwaukee. The Wave leading the Kansas City Comets 5-2. Tom went along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer, bringing you the play-by-play action here. One of several games on the Major Arena Soccer League slate tonight. Again, league opening up regular season play last night with a couple of games in case you missed it. St. Louis going down to Orlando and defeating the Seawolves 5-4 in a shootout after the teams battled to a 4-4 draw through regulation play and then the 10-minute overtime. Ambush winning the shootout 2-1. And then a little later on out in Ontario at Citizens Bank Arena, the Fury took care of the Turlock Express 11-2. And I thought Ontario looked pretty good. Art, I saw the first half of that game. Picked up Chris Toth, one of the goalkeepers from San Diego in the offseason. Huge acquisition there. Bernie Lilavois, the general manager behind the bench for last night's game. He's put together a pretty good team. And Turlock, well, you know, possibly another long season for them, but we'll see. Chris Hanser, I see, has now taken over the reins as coach there, with the owner, Art Pulido, lending assistance.
Former Wave player and Milwaukee native Tony Walls playing for Ontario.
Yeah, Tony had 3 assists last night. His line mate there that he kept feeding the ball to racked up, Adrian Perez, I think it was, had 5 goals for the Fury. All right, underway second half here. You saw Daniel Chamali getting whistled right there. 5-2 Wave leads it. They go left to right as we look at the action here in the third period. Any adjustments you think either team's going to make here, Art, as we start the second half?
I think Giuliano Oliviero's got to be very pleased with the way his team performed. Obviously the concern for Tenzin Rampa, who's still not down on the Wave bench, who was injured after that Robert Renault goal. So I wouldn't think a whole lot from the Wave side. For Kansas City, they just have to be better defensively. They really do. You saw that 5th goal, and it was Sosa and Perez. 2 of the guys who are veteran players have got to be leaders on this team. And quite honestly, it just wasn't enough effort defensively from Kansas City. I like the way they're getting behind the ball. Kim Runtved, their coach, has them organized and in good positions, but they've got to play. They've got to battle.
Well, you mentioned before, Art, Comets were a rather porous defensive team last year, yielding 190 goals, which was third worst, I believe, in the league in the 17-team MESL. Oh, nice little touch there. Bennett trying to come onto it, but a good play by Petrusek to come out of the net and knock it away. Now James playing it ahead as he was looking for Anthony Grant, and Lemos came out to clear it away. So we get some early action here in the third quarter. Hain heads it down. Alex Bradley. Bradley making his debut for the Wave, second-year player out of Loras College in Dubuque, Iowa. And as Renault sends it in, it deflects to the goalkeeper Petrusek, who looked like for a moment he couldn't find it, but eventually did.
Comets were fortunate that time. That ball bounced off of Adam James. And fortunately for the Comets, that ball went wide, but Petrusek had no idea where it was.
Talking about goal differential last year, Milwaukee scoring 172, giving up 124. Wave was one of the top defensive teams in the league, and actually one of the better offensive teams too. Plus 48 was.
What'd you say that number was? 144.
172 to 124. They
124. So and Kansas City gave up 190. That's 70, almost 70 goals difference between the two teams.
66 more in a 22-game schedule, 3 goals per game. Bradley trying to get to it. Good defensive play. Looked like Ramon Palmer stepping in there to intercede. Now up ahead, James. Renault racing onto him. Good job by Robert to track back. And James will have to bring it back out. Kim Renault looking pretty good out there tonight, coming back from that ACL surgery that sidelined him since the middle of last January. Drive in by Sosa, just wide right. Gets it back, will turn. Play it to Jogba, to his defensive partner Sosa, and a shot in along the ground by Perez, and a good stop by Lemos. I'm not sure Josh saw that till the last second. He had some traffic in front, but a nice sprawling save there. Lemos has looked sharp tonight. Now Pereira made a nice turn to get around Sosa, tried to lay it across, but the pass was off the mark on the near wing.
Vandegrift at the far post that time for the Wave, and then he came hobbling off after that misconnection.
Slipped down kind of awkwardly as he was trying to put on the brakes at the near post. Bennett heads it across. Ruggles looking back. Pereira with attempted back heel to get it for Bennett. Couldn't make the connection, but the Wave gets it back. Milwaukee, as I think, Art, has done a really nice job. They have made very few mistakes handling the ball in the back. They haven't given the Comets any gift opportunities here, not many.
Well, they really established themselves a couple seasons ago under Coach Oliviero as one of the better possession teams in the league.
And one of the keys, of course, has been their goalkeeper, Josh Lemos, who has it here now. But again, we'll see what the effect of the new rule is. Goalkeepers cannot control the ball in their offensive half until the fourth quarter. And as you know, Josh, very prominent, had great proclivity to control the ball into the offensive attacking third. Not unusual for him to get some shots on goal. In fact, he scored 3 goals last year with 10 assists. Which, I mean, that almost equals the rest of the total of all the goalkeepers combined in the league. At least as far as the goal scoring goes.
So he had a hand in 13 of the Wave goals. I still don't think it's going to have much of an effect on the Wave's offensive production.
Drogba got dumped that time. No call as they play on. Kyle Trimble, Brian Miller working the game tonight. And seems like they've been fairly consistent so far. And that one going off the top of Leo Gibson, who was trying to mark the big guy Andre Hain. Gibson giving up about 10 inches in height in that matchup. Wave will play it in, virtual corner kick as Max Ferdinand is on the ball. Max with 1 assist in the first half. Trying to look near side for Renault. Good sliding effort by the Comets to break it up. Now Lemos reloads. Gibson able to fall down and clear it out to midfield as Drogba gets it. Ramon Palmer, Gibson dumping in for Robert Palmer. Lemos clearing away, and that's going to be a handball against Robert Palmer.
Leo Gibson started out his career as a defender in this league. Then he moved into the forward position, and now he's back in the back for the Comets. And if you're a Milwaukee Wave fan or a Milwaukee Wave player, you're happy the further Leo Gibson is away from your goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Drew Ruggles got called for the foul that time. You see Drew, the fourth-year man out of Georgia Southern, not agreeing with that call by the officials.
We talked about Greg Howes earlier in the broadcast, Tom, and we used to tell Housey, Coach Tozer and I would tell Housey, get yourself up front. We want you in the attacking third of the field, getting off your shot. Same for Leo Gibson. Leo Gibson, with his back to the goal, up deep in the opponent's third of the field, is extremely dangerous, but he's only dangerous if he gets there.
Yeah, good points. Again, Leo, not the tallest guy, but very solidly built. Here's Max trying to come in against the keeper. Crosses over. Sosa with good hustle defensively along with Lucas Rodriguez to prevent the shot.
You said it. Good recovery run that time by John Sosa, who took a really bad angle on the initial ball along the boards that allowed Ferdinand to come in alone.
Still looking for our first goal here in the second quarter. Next stoppage will bring us to the media timeout. You know, it seems like the Wave has got this one under control right now, but if the Comets score next, they're really right back in this thing. Wave will be on the road for its next 2 in Kansas City for the Comets home opener on December 15th. And then in Florida to take on the Tropics at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida, December 22nd, before returning home on New Year's Eve day, Monday, December 31st, for the 3 o'clock game against the St. Louis Ambush. Call the Wave office for tickets, 414-224-WAVE, 414-224-9283, as Perea trying to fend off the defender. And that number, Art, 414-224-WAVE, that is also the number to call for Milwaukee Milkmen tickets. The Milkmen making their debut at Routine Field in Franklin this summer. Put it on the board, number 99, Andre Hain. Wave leads it 6-2.
The big man, Andre Hain, finishes it with the left foot to give the Wave a 6-2 lead here in the third. And Kansas City had numbers back that time, but nobody was able to block the shot. Watch the end of this. Chamali starts the play.
Nice little soul roll there by Andre to get around the defender, Robert Palmer.
Yeah. Robert Palmer there committing himself and going down. You saw 2 Kansas City defenders on the turf. not standing up to block shots in front of Petrusek.
So Daniel Chamali will get credit for the assist. And how about this, Art? We're honoring the Foley and Lardner hometown hero, military hero, none other than Jason Park, former reserve player for the Wave from a few years ago. Jason, a former member of the Air Force and now serving as an agent for the FBI.
Still looks fit.
Boy, sure does. Could still throw a uniform kit on him, and I think he could probably go out and play a few shifts. There he is, back in his Air Force days, also served in the Air Force Reserve. But now with the FBI, great to see Jason back here. And amazingly enough, he now resides in Orlando. So probably a pretty good chance he's going to show up when the Wave visits Orlando on January 21st to take on the Seawolves.
Where were you and I in that picture, Tom? Saw some of the old guard there.
Yeah, I was wondering.
A young Giuliano Oliviero up in the back row. Giuliano still looks very young, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely he does.
But
hard to believe Giuliano's already in his 5th season as head coach after an 18-year playing career that included 12 years with the Wave. Giuliano with a very impressive record during his time here with the Wave. Entering tonight's contests, 56 and 26 for the regular season record. And postseason, 8 and 7. Tell you, anytime you're over 500 in postseason, that's 5. But my goodness, seemed like he just took over for Keith Tozer a couple of years ago. All right, Wave with it, left to right. Now leading 6-2. Gino will steer one up. Good strike, good save by Petrusek. Petrusek has come up with some big saves tonight for KC. Wave could easily have a couple of more goals, except for his efforts in the nets for Kansas City. Josh Lemos hasn't been tested quite as much, but Josh has certainly come through when he's had to for the Wave. Ian Bennett is dumped. Foul is called, and we've got a card. Yellow card being displayed.
A reminder, Wave fans, to please keep
hopefully Ian Bennett's going to be okay. There's a guy that Wave could ill afford to lose for an extended period.
Well, it's a yellow card, possibly for something someone said there. Just saw Sosa come through, got the ball. Bennett, and there it is right there.
Delay game, so no penalty on the initial collision there with Ian Bennett.
You see Brian Perez, the Comet captain, having a word for Brian Miller. You know, the 4 players that returned to Kansas City, Robert Palmer, Ramon Palmer, Johnny Sosa, Elaine Mattingu, they were talking in the press, very happy to be back in Kansas City. The old guard's back. You know, we've championship-type ball club. They got to go out and play. Got to go out and play. Just having guys back doesn't make you a championship contender. And quite honestly, defensively, those 4 guys have not played very well tonight. They haven't. Saw the last 2 goals. Sosa gets nutmegged. Perez turns his back on the shot, or Sosa turns his back on the shot. And then right here, Robert Palmer commits himself, and then Sosa commits himself as well and doesn't make a block. And so these are the guys that have to be the leaders for Kim Runtved in this team. And just coming back isn't going to get it done. You got to come back and you got to compete and you got to play. You got to play.
Now the foul going to be called here on Chad Vandegrift as a little too aggressive, trying to get the possession that time. Final score from Baltimore, the Blast welcomes the Mississauga Metro Stars to the MASL. The 3-time defending champion Baltimore Blast defeats the Metro Stars 11-3 at the CQ Arena in Towson, Maryland.
And while that may sound critical of those 4 players, Tom, listen, those guys have proven they're championship level players. They can do it. We've seen them do it year after year. But it's like Janet Jackson's song, "What Have You Done For Me Lately," right? And it's a new season. You've got to come out and you got to play.
Redirection in front by James. Couldn't get much on it. Picked up by Josh Lemos.
Especially with a new goalkeeper in the nets this year, because I thought that was a big thing they needed to clear up was their goalkeeping situation. And they got Petrusek. Now it's up to the guys in front of Petrusek to really help him out and get him off to a good start this season.
Well, Petrusek has played okay tonight. Giving him a chance. Comets again, if they can get the next goal, certainly could get some momentum here down the stretch.
The quarters have been similar. The first 2 quarters, they've played good in the first half of those quarters and then gave up 2 goals in the second half of each quarter.
Curiel with a good job to clear it up. Vandergrift nudges ahead. Hain trying to get it, but it comes to Ramon Palmer. Ramon has one of the 2 goals, and he sets it up near side. Mattingo couldn't finish in the middle, though. James puts it away. And the Comets back within 3 at 6-3.
There's a good answer by Kansas City there. 2 really good chances. They scored on the second one. Mattingo at the back post missed the first one. Ball caromed around, and then it was Adam James right there who finished for Kansas City. Good play by Palmer to start this. And there you see the first chance by Mattingo. Palmer again with the assist, and then right through the 5-hole, Adam James beats Lemos. Watch the Wave defenders. 3 guys back in the box. Nobody stepping out to block. They all backed up. The only guy that came out was goalkeeper Lemos.
So Robert Palmer gets the assist.
Never understood that backing up when a guy's going to shoot. Don't back up. Step towards the shot and block. Your goalkeeper stepping out to try to make a save, and you got 2 guys behind him not helping at all. Looked like a corner kick in outdoor soccer. I'll take that post, you take this post.
So the Comets very much alive in this one. Petrusek, nice move to get away from a pressuring Isaac Pereira that time. Now the feed ahead, Gibson trying to get behind the defense as Santos tracks him down and is able to take it away and start the counterattack. Wave coming 3-2. Max in the middle. IMAX lays it off, and the shot by Oliveira off the right post. And now Kyle Williams the other way on the far wing, crossing over Mattingo's shot and the goal. Oh boy, he set that one up. There was no doubter after he crossed over. And the Comets have back-to-back goals. It's now 6-4.
Well, here they come. 2 in a row, and this is going to be a timeout by Giuliano Oliviero as the Wave getting into an up-and-down run-and-gun match. And with a 6-2 lead, that's the last thing you want to do is to get into a running game.
So Matingu comes up with his second of the night. And just like that, Kansas City back within 2 at 6-4.
Well, maybe Coach Kim Runtved had some of the same words I was saying up here for his players, and a great response by the veteran players. This time it's Matingu with a goal. We saw Ramon Palmer on the last one set up Adam James. And there you go. I mean, if you want to be a team that's going to be contended with, it's got to be your veterans. It's got to be those guys we've been talking about. And they've answered the call here in the last few minutes.
We mentioned that Blast came up with the 11-3 win over Mississauga to start their season tonight. Last we saw from Harrisburg, it was 6-6 with Utica FC and the Harrisburg Heat. That should be a pretty good rivalry, I would think, for this year. That was when it was Syracuse and Harrisburg, and now that Syracuse has moved to Utica, they're even a little bit closer now.
And Harrisburg now with Pat Healy, the former Defensive Player of the Year, Defender of the Year from the Baltimore Blast.
Yeah,
eight-time, what is he? 7-8-time champion with the Blast, and his dad, Kevin Healy, moves over to the Heat as the general manager, Pat the coach.
Well, they certainly had the formula in Baltimore, so we'll see if they can do it in Harrisburg. But I would think some genuine excitement among Heat Nation with the Heelys coming to town. Heat now leading 7-6. Fourth quarter of that contest, and Ambush have come back with a pair down in Lakeland, but they still trail the Florida Tropic 6-2. That is going to be a penalty as Ian Bennett got put down, and let's see if that's possibly a shootout here.
Robert Palmer having some words for Bennett, saying he took a dive. But it was a last man foul. I would think this would be a shootout. Let's see what Kyle Trimble's going to call here. It looks like they're going back to the yellow line for a shootout.
One more time as you see Ian still got a lot of speed in those legs at 35 years old as he got bumped down from behind. And it will indeed be a shootout. And let's see who's going to do the honors.
Oh, it's going to be Max.
Max Ferdinand to take the shootout. He'll come in from the line. Everybody else will line up at midfield. When the whistle blows, everybody moves. And it'll be a live shootout. So if the Comets are successful in stopping the wave, then it would be a power play for Milwaukee the next 2 minutes.
Let's see if Max doesn't allow Ian Bennett to run on the first guy and then find Ian. He will.
Lays it off, Ian coming in, shot and goal! There it is! That's the way you execute the give it up shootout.
I like that term, the give it up shootout. It's what Gordy Gerson tried last night for Orlando, but unfortunately he didn't get the give it up part correct. He passed it 5 yards in front of his teammate. But you see Max, take a look. There's Ian, the fastest player on the field. Beats everybody else down the floor. Was able to convert. See Max right there, took a look over his left shoulder.
Well, what a ball. He had to be perfect on that layoff, and especially with Ian running onto the right foot from the inside. Kind of interesting how that evolved, but extremely well executed by Max and Ian. The IMAX tandem converts the shootout at 12:56 of the third period and giving the Wave a very important goal to break the momentum for Kansas City, at least temporarily. 7-4, Milwaukee. Remember, the Comets had scored the last two and were building some momentum here late in the third period.
Talk about the play that led up to that shootout, Tom. Bennett, the veteran player that he is, waited for that contact from Palmer and then went down. I could see where Robert Palmer would have a beef with that call. Not much contact, but Bennett sold it well.
Hat trick for Ian Bennett. The man who has had more hat tricks than anybody else in the league except for Frank Te'o the last couple of years. Ian has been the league's second leading scorer behind Te'o the last couple of years. Andre Hayne with some attempted bicycle magic. Off the mark, but an exciting play nonetheless.
We've seen him score with that same play last season, I believe.
Down in St. Louis.
I'm not sure that one wasn't a dangerous play, though. This one right here.
I'll tell you one thing, I would not want to be on the end of one of those boots. Oh, Lemos! Couple of great back-to-back saves, including the rebound to Gibson. Now Nacho Flores, little back heel feed to the middle, broken up. And Chino will clear downfield. Good sequence there. Let's check it out one more time on the Wisconsin Vision Instant Replay. Well, there's the bike by Andre Hayne in the Waves' previous possession.
You wouldn't want to get in front of that size 12.5 shoe, huh?
I don't think so. Yeah, that goal he scored against the Ambush last year in St. Louis, still regarded as one of the greatest goals in the first 5 years of MASL history. And helped the Wave to a big win down in St. Louis.
30 seconds.
Nice job by Lemos to get around the defender and play it up for Curiel. Here's Angel, second season with the Wave, the Mexican native. Oh, great crossover and shot to score against his former Cedar Rapids teammate Petrusek. Wave leads it 8-4.
If there's been one weakness to Brett Petrusek's game tonight, it's been the low shot to the far corner. And that time it was Chino, Angel Curiel, that beat Petrusek low to the left-hand side. 2 goals from pretty poor angles that Petrusek has let go tonight. This one from the left foot of Curiel.
Lemos will get the assists. Curiel did most of the work. And even after a goal, he's not really smiling too much, but you know, inside he's got to be pretty happy. He was a key acquisition by the Wave last year, and looks like he's picking right up this year. And now Kansas City already making the move to the 6th attacker.
It might be just for this last 20 seconds, though, Tom. Not sure if Kim Runtved is going to start the 4th quarter as a 6th attacker.
Lucas Rodriguez will don the jersey. Long blast off the mark, rebound, follow by Togbo was wide. Rodriguez gets it back, and that's going to do it for the period. So the Wave able to come back with a couple of goals late in the 3rd period to reestablish their 4-goal advantage. We go to the 4th. Don't go anywhere, fans. This one still has a few fireworks in it, I'm betting. It's Milwaukee 8, Kansas City 4. This is Wave Soccer and MASL.TV.
We had a vision of creating a sports medicine program from the grassroots level, from peewees to the pros. At Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital, we are taking care of athletes and getting them back on the field. Over 80% of the patients that come to see us for sports-related injuries do not need surgery. That really surprises people. We can relate to our patients because many of us have been there. Athletes like to say they give 110%. Well, guess what? So do we.
This is a story about a battle against all the things in life that are hard, and sometimes people don't win. Sometimes stockings are still empty on Christmas morning, or kids go to bed hungry, or don't go to bed at all because they don't have a home. But there's an army dedicated to fighting this battle with hope and compassion. And anyone can join them, anywhere there's a red kettle, because at Christmas, love has an army that fights for good.
How do you see yourself at Wisconsin Vision? Whether you're at lunch with friends, the gym, office, or out for a night in the town, Wisconsin Vision carries designer eyewear to fit every lifestyle. With convenient locations throughout Wisconsin, Wisconsin Vision makes it easy to update your look. Plus, they accept most vision insurance plans.
Call to schedule a $49 eye exam
And ask how to get 30% off your first pair of complete glasses and 50% off your second complete pair. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
What did I get from my father? His spirit. I got his warmth, his understanding. What did I learn? His passion for helping others was for me everything I was meant to be.
While every agent's story is different, the promise is still the same. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The Ambassador, Milwaukee's landmark Art Deco hotel, is the official hotel of your Milwaukee Wave. Beautifully renovated and seamlessly appointed with every modern comfort. The Ambassador offers a bridge between the city's legendary past and its cosmopolitan present. A stay at the Ambassador is a stay at a warm, gracious home away from home, served by true ambassadors of hospitality. The Ambassador Hotel, the official hotel of your Milwaukee Wave.
We come to the 4th period as you see public address announcer Van McNeil in his resplendent Fortnite outfit. I gotta love the tie with that combo there. Anyway, nice crowd on hand, Art, in the Waves' 35th season opener, 35th home opener. And they've seen a great game so far. Kind of been a few ebbs and flows here. Kansas City scored the first goal. The Wave stormed back to get 6 in the next 7 to make it 6-2. Comets responded with a pair to make it 6-4 late in the third, but the Wave, two very important goals from Bennett and Chino. Ian getting his third of the night, a hat trick off the shootout assist from Max Ferdinand. And so Milwaukee now up by 4, but like I said, I still think we got a few fireworks coming in this game.
Well, Kansas City came back with a nice answer to get back to 6-4, but then the Wave with an answer of their own with 2 more to end the quarter.
You know, we mentioned the Wave's next home game on New Year's Eve day, Monday, December 31st at 3 p.m. We've also got Wave holiday camps to tell you about. There's a 2-day camp that will be held at Eline Soccer Park, the official training home of the Wave, Thursday, December 27th, Friday, December 28th from noon to 3 p.m. $75 a cost there. You get 2 days of instruction by Wave players. Also, each participant will get Wave athletic socks, a soccer ball, and a ticket to that game on December 31st versus the Ambush here at the Panther Arena. And then the one-day camp, if you want to take it a step further and get on the black turf, the famous black turf of Panther Arena, you can come to the one-day camp 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m. as Anthony Grant going to take a blue card and having a, if not a few words, a look down with Ian Bennett. Let's check it out one more time.
Number 22, Anthony Grant. The call is for boarding.
Anyway, that one-day camp will be held the morning before the game on the 31st right here at Panther Arena. $50 a cost. 1 day of instruction from Wave players with participants receiving Wave athletic socks, a soccer ball, and a ticket to that game at 3 o'clock against the Ambush. Call the Wave office for further details, 414-224-WAVE. That's 414-224-9283. Wave on the power play as they will try to increase their 9-4 advantage. Milwaukee, with one of the league's better power plays a year ago, 21 for 47 at 45%. The Comets were not exactly scintillating in penalty killing, just barely 50%, as they killed off 21 of 41 a year ago.
Well, and instead of Daniel Matos, it's LSO. Last year was Daniel Matos, a lefty. This year, LSO. Rest of the group pretty much the same.
Ian, Max, Robert Renault, and Ricardinho. Petrusek throws it into the stands, and that should be restart top of the arc. That was not a timely play on his part. Good chance for the Wave here on the power play restart, top of the arc.
Second top of the arc restart tonight for the Wave. The first one, Max Ferdinand shot first time.
All right, here's Max on the run up, and he'll slide it over. LSO with a touch. Rolls it in. He was a bit off balance. Petrusek able to make the save.
The weight of the pass was a little soft that time by Ferdinand. Was a little behind LSO as well. I don't necessarily know if he wanted to take that soul roll. Probably would have preferred to hit it first time.
LSO in his first game back with the Wave. Remember, the year he left was the year that Max arrived here in Milwaukee, so they haven't had a chance to work together much prior to this season, but I'm sure they'll get it.
Well, Matos, the difference between Matos and LSO, Matos maybe a little better in possession than LSO, but LSO with a much better shot than Daniel Matos.
5,374. Excellent opening night crowd on hand here in Milwaukee. LSO turns at the corner. Max off the inboard. Ian in front. Could not quite turn it in with a defender all over him. But no, LSO had a good look, put it high. And the ball.
LSO looking up to the heavens on that one as he was right at the elbow of the arc and just shot it wide and high.
LSO does have a goal tonight. Just 5 seconds left, a man advantage for the Wave. As you see Anthony Grant coming out of the box.
Wave wants to keep Kansas City's defensive personnel on the floor if they can. That time, going back to your keeper allows Kansas City to make 2 changes.
Renault could not get past Mattingue. Here comes Tagba, and bumped off balance. Foul was called. Good job by the officials there. Let the advantage play on until Kansas City lost the possession.
Here comes the 6th attacker now.
So it looks like Kim Renfed's going to take his chances when they have the possession. Rodriguez, normally a pretty good 6th attacker. He has definitely shown that before against the Wave. Got a big left foot outside, can move the ball around pretty well. Perez, Gibson. See who else they have out there. Ramon Palmer,
yep.
Nacho Flores.
Johnny Sosa.
Johnny Sosa. One-time volley, just a bit high by Gibson over there. Wave starts it out. Max fends off the defender. Took a bump down, they didn't call it, and a shot and a goal. Gibson finishes it off. Well, at the very least, it could have been a 50-50 call on the foul that wasn't called. Let's look one more time. It looked like a foul from up here, but again, we're up there and they're down there.
I wouldn't have called it. Good defensive play by Gibson, and then Ramon Palmer with the finish.
Comets score at 3:46 of the 4th period. And they're back within 3 at 8-5.
You think about the call they made on Robert Palmer to give the Wave a shootout. I mean, I don't think the Wave has got much beef on a non-call there.
I would agree. Definitely good counterpoint there. Well, they all even up in the end. So Milwaukee now trying to see if they can quell any potential run here by the Comets.
Yeah, if you're a player, I would just tell myself, hey, expect to get 50% of the calls that you think you should get, and 50% aren't going to go your way. And if you're really nice to these referees, maybe over the course of your career, you're going to get 52 or 53%. But don't expect for it all the time.
Good point. A little diplomacy can help you get a few of those calls, perhaps. Chino in a slide out with Stefan Stokic, and the Comets come away with it. Grant trying to come down left side of the box. No doubt he thought he was fouled, but they play on.
And since I wasn't very nice to the referees, Tom, I got about 47% over my career. Maybe even less than that.
Pereira, he'll line one up that's just bit off. Chino, good job to control. Wave will reload back at midfield.
And the more that I'd complain, referees like Steve Siomas and Gino DiPolito used to say, Kramer, you want some cheese with your wine in Milwaukee? I just keep on whining.
Now, that was kind of interesting right there. Josh Lemos had the ball at midfield, and he probably was thinking, I can't go past midfield, even though it's the 4th period. Looked like he pulled up a couple steps short and eventually played it out of bounds. Chino moves up, taking away, looking toward the empty nets. Shot is wide. And eventually Rodriguez back. So again, Kansas City shuffling in Rodriguez as the extra attacker when they get the possession.
And the Wave's going to need to punish Kansas City here and get a goal with Rodriguez in there, because Kansas City's got a lot of firepower here on this 6th attacker unit.
Well, here's one of the best guys who can finish against a 6th attacker or anybody, Ian Bennett. Tried to go high on Rodriguez, missed it up high. Perez coming out of there with it.
Always said, you don't want to sit back and defend that 6th attacker. You want to attack the 6th attacker. Put the ball in the back of their net. That's the best way to get that 6th attacker off the field.
Good play by Chino to break up the attempt from the corner. It comes out high. Sosa with a drive that's wide. Tried to head the rebound for Gibson, but he was off the mark. Bradley tried to clear, couldn't do it. Yep. Shot and a goal.
Yep.
And just like that, the Comets are back within 2. It's 8-6.
Johnny Sosa that time. There you see Sosa right there. Lemos got a hand to it, couldn't keep it out. The last year, the Comets were 20%, Tom, on their power play, which was extremely low stat. But as I said, Johnny Sosa has really been the captain of that power play team for years, along with Vahid Asadpour, obviously, Lucas Rodriguez. But no, when you're talking Leo Gibson, Lucas Rodriguez, John Sosa, Brian Perez, and Nacho Flores, that's 5 guys, all that can all hurt you. And the Wave, like I said, is going to have to put one in the back of Kansas City's net here.
LSO dispossessed at midfield when we're going to have a foul called, I believe, on Jonathan Santos. And again, Petracek, the goalkeeper, comes off. Rodriguez comes on. So back-to-back goals from Gibson and Sosa, the latter at 6:23 of the fourth period, have made this an 8-6 game. Shot in, blocked down. Hayne trying to clear, he couldn't. Now the turning shot by Grant is off the mark. Well, Wave still can't get it out to midfield. Good step in there, Santos. And here we go. 2v2 with LSO on the possession for Milwaukee. Now 3-on-3. And Luan getting a little tied up there. Comes back to get it from Flores. A good hustle by LSO. He didn't put his head down. He went back to dig it out. Chamale.
And now if you're the Wave, you should keep it. Make them chase. Make them chase. I talked about scoring a goal, but if there's the opportunity to keep it and force them to run, that's what you do.
And we've reached almost the midway point. Official timeout. 8-6. I told you, fans, we would have some action here in the fourth period. We certainly have, with Kansas City scoring a couple of goals. Tom went along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer with you here from UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. And been a good one here tonight. Wave only trailed for the first 6:17 after the Comets got the early goal from Mattingue. But Isaac Pereira tied it up at 6:17, and since then Milwaukee has had the lead. Pereira's goal kicked off a 3-goal run, including goals by Robert Renaud and Ian Bennett with his first of the night. Ramon Palmer got one back for the Comets in the second period to make it 3-2, but then the Wave on another 3-goal run. LSO, Bennett with his second, Andre Hayne with his first to make it 6-2. That was midway through the third period. Casey came back with a couple of goals from James and Mattingue, his second, to make it 6-4, but the Wave responded with a pair of goals late in the third from Bennett, his third of the night, to give him the hat trick off an assist from Max Ferdinand on a shootout. Max had the shootout and then laid it off to the charging Bennett to knock past the goalkeeper Petracek. But now here in the fourth, a couple of 6-attacker goals for the Comets. Leo Gibson, his first of the year. Johnny Sosa, his first of the year. And Kansas City back within 2. Comets have it. They go left to right as we look at the action here.
My 9-year-old daughter just came up to me, Tom, as you were talking, and she said, "Daddy, where's Tenzin?" And we talked about what the Comets have on their 6-attacker unit, but Tenzin Rampa is the guy who really captains the Wave man-down team and 6-attacker defensive unit. And so this is a big loss for the Wave in this area as well.
Yeah, Tenzin got hurt in the goal celebration for Robert Renaud late in the first period. Apparently hurt his leg, and we did not get an update since then. But as you heard Coach Oliviero saying, we're praying for him, hoping it's nothing more than just a little tweak. Still 6:40 to go, and again the Comets will switch out from the goalkeeper Petracek to the 6th attacker Rodriguez. They get the next goal, and it's really going to be anybody's game. Santos turns and clears. Again, Milwaukee with a lot of veteran experience. This is where you're counting on them to be able to hold the fort. LSO slides it ahead. Bennett walking in against the 6th attacker. Ian Bennett shot just one. Oh, Ian looking for number 4. pushed it wide as Rodriguez came out to challenge. Ramon Palmer back it up for Perez. Now they swing it to Rodriguez. Got to be getting a little nervous down there on the Wave side as Milwaukee trying to quell the momentum. Max takes it away. Max and Ian, here they come. Max coming in, over to Ian. He'll put it in. And just like that, a little less nervousness as Bennett gets his 4th of the night from Max Ferdinand, his 3rd assist. Wave leads it 9-6.
Speed kills, and you saw it right there. Both Ferdinand and Bennett with outstanding wheels beat Kansas City down the field on the counterattack. And then as you knew it was going to happen, the 2-time leader in assists in the MASL found one of the leading goal scorers in the league in Ian Bennett. And that's a big goal, as you said, Tom, for the Wave to quell that momentum a little bit.
Well, it's amazing how those guys can add up the numbers, that IMAX tandem. Keep in mind that at the end of the first period, all you had was 1 goal from Ian Bennett. Since then, he's added 3, and Max Ferdinand's added 3 assists.
Still a long way to go in this one, though. 5:37, 9-6 Wave. Kansas City and Kim Runtvedt are going to stick with the 6 attacker.
Well, nothing to lose for the Comets right here. And they have produced a couple of goals using the SAG. Nice job there by Chino to sweep that one off the goal line after it got behind the goalkeeper, Lemos.
It is a little quiet here, Wave fans.
Comets will be in Mississauga to take on the Metro Stars on December 13th for their next game before hosting the Wave in their home opener at the Silverstein Eye Center's Arena in Independence on December 15th. How about Chino? 3/4 of the field, and Angel Curiel with an outstanding goal to make it 10-6.
We saw Angel earlier in this quarter miss one as he tried to put a long shot in. Much easier chance in this one, but just watch the full volley here by Angel. And right on the money. Right down Wisconsin Avenue there, Tom.
Oh, absolutely. What a finish by Chino. He's got his 2nd of the night versus the 6th attacker. And the Comets have put Petracek back out there. So perhaps playing him as a pseudo 6th attacker. He can take it across the midfield stripe if he wants to now here in the 4th period. So right when the Comets were on the verge of getting back into this thing, the Wave gets a couple of goals to push the margin back up to 4. Shot put up in the stands. Goalkeeper distribution for Lemos and the Wave. Wave, as I mentioned, be on the road for the next 2 in Independence against the Comets on December 15th. And then in Lakeland against the Florida Tropics, December 22nd, before coming home for the New Year's Eve Day game on December 31st. Call the Wave office for ticket information, 414-224-WAVE. You can also check it online on MilwaukeeWave.com, your source for everything Wave. Tickets, merchandise, camps, other promos, MilwaukeeWave.com.
So let's reverse hats here for a second, Tom. Are you a little surprised that they're not going 6 attacker? There was still 4.5 left in the game, down 4?
You know, maybe a little bit. Again, not much to lose, really, if you put them out there one more time.
I mean, there's really no, yeah, you said not much to lose. It's not like, well, we're not going to make the playoffs because of goal differential or something like that. I mean, Kansas City has the ability to put up numbers quickly. We saw it. They scored 2 in, what was it, a minute or so? And you're down 4. But as I said earlier, the quickest way to get a team sixth attacker off the field is to score on them. And that's what happened. The Wave scored twice, and Kim Runfed said, okay, I've seen enough.
Collision, and Josh Lemos is down. Remember, Josh hurt his throwing shoulder late last year in a game at Syracuse and really knocked him out of the first round of the playoffs, as you see Berto Robert Palmer. And that was more than a love tap right there from Robert Palmer. Josh looking like he's okay, but yeah, that shoulder really, that injury lingered through the end of last season. Looks okay tonight as far as I can tell, but that couldn't have felt very good. Impressive effort so far here tonight from Coach Giuliano Oliviero's team against a very spirited effort from the Kansas City Comets. Once again, the rivalry between these teams should be pretty intense this year. Don't forget to join the Greek, Nick Vassos, and the Comets broadcast team for that game December 15th. Look for.
Yes, which will be a very difficult game for the Wave in Kansas City.
Yeah, if the Comets end up losing this one, they will be coming back with a vengeance. Gibson got around LSO, took a shot off the mark. Luan trying to get it back as Gibson knocked it up into the stands. Tough assignment for the Comets going up to Mississauga to take on the Metro Stars in their first ever home game. Check out the Robert Renault bobblehead they're going to be giving away. Boy, I like that tux he's got on, that's for sure. 80s prom night, Robert Renault.
Our producer Ian asked us if we could get some pictures of us in our 80s prom. I was not in high school. I was out of high school.
Ian, I'm flattered. I'm flattered by your request, but actually it was 70s prom.
It would have been 70s prom for me as well.
And no, they did not have digital pictures available at that time.
I was lucky some girl felt sorry for me and went with me to the prom.
Oh, I hear you, buddy. I hear you.
Poor girl. She was like 2 feet taller than I was. Now, Tom and I are in our three-piece suits. Remember those?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Good job by Chamali to win that one. Now, Renault at midfield with a little step over to try to get away from the pressure as Sosa's all over him. Wave doing a good job to keep it away from the Comets right here.
I talked about it would be awkward for me talking about Fortnite because I didn't know much about it. Looking at pictures of me in the 70s prom three-piece suit, that's really awkward.
Petrusek picks it up. It'll be a loss for him in his debut for the Comets, but I would have to think that he's got better days ahead for KC. Better days for the Comets in front of him. And Milwaukee, a great start. Wave is going to win its season opener for the 23rd time in 35 season openers, the most of any team in indoor soccer history. Oh, Tagma looked like he might have a chance to get a shot up, but he stumbled down there. Last 15 seconds of the game. Lemos comes out to knock one away from Adam James in his bid to score. Clear to midfield, and that's going to do it. Big win for the Wave in their 35th season opener. Now 23-12 in history, 25-10 in home openers. And the Wave, all-time now, 676 regular season wins against just 452 losses. This game, number 1,128 in Wave history. Again, the longest of any North American indoor soccer franchise. And here at the UWM Panther Arena, 150-43. So Good way to start things out. You see Coach Oliviero will stand by for the PCI hardest working player of the game. Got a couple of different candidates here tonight, Art. Could be Ian Bennett, could be Max Ferdinand, could be Josh Lemos.
Well, I think with 4 goals, probably safe to say Ian. That makes it look pretty easy out there. And, you know, you're a 50-goal scorer every year. You're going to get some special attention defensively. But I tell you, the guy just has a knack for finishing. Great striker of the ball. Gets himself in good positions. And here he goes right out of the gate.
35 years old. He is in absolutely phenomenal shape. If you took one look at him, Art, you'd think perhaps he could be 10 years younger. Certainly in his late 20s, probably at the oldest. But, boy, he is just...
he's our Niger Morgan, I+.
Certainly is. And Max Ferdinand, you get a look at Max right there. The league's leading playmaker the past 2 years. 3 assists tonight. And Max helping this man right here, Ian Bennett, do the business. Let's send it down to Van McNeil talking with Ian Bennett.
Number 26, Ian Bennett. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 goals tonight, IB?
Hey, had to, you know, Mama's in the building. You know, when Mommy's in the building, home cooking, I felt good, but total team effort. We put the work in, crazy preseason. Giuliano had the blueprint, and we stuck to it.
Now we move on here. Of course, eyes on the prize here. We made it through last season. We lost in the playoffs. That had to sting a little bit coming into today.
Yeah, we had to tighten up on our defense, and I think we've done that. That's our huge thing. We know we can score some goals, but it's defense. Really pay attention, really stick it in, really sacrificing for each other, and I think we saw it today. You know, obviously the 6th attacker, we got to work on that, but they got an extra man when that happens. But 5v5, I thought we were strong.
We got to get your mama here every game if you're going to play like that.
Hey, you know, I'm going to tell my mom to come in here, you know what I'm saying?
Give it up for number 26, the PCI hardest working player of the game. You better put that hat on. Number 26, Ian Bennett. Of course, our next home game on December 1st is the traditional New Year's Eve game. Are you guys ready for New Year's Eve? Birthday boy? Get tickets and even more at MilwaukeeWave.com, Robert Renault bobblehead night, and we want you to come dressed up. It's 80s prom night for the entire crew here at UW Milwaukee Panther Arena under the direction of Mike Jakubowski and Charlie Wise. My name is Van McNeil. Are you giving me bunny ears? Oh, you're dancing. It's the Fortnite dance. It's our Fortnite game. Good night, everybody. Van McNeil, let's